are a nonprofit organization, and we are dedicated to study the existential program or the purpose of life, according to Conscienciology. We are all volunteers here. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight with you guys. And if you're new to our channel, this is our second live in English. Yeah. We are very excited about it. This is very exciting to all of us. I'm happy to say that we have 4 more lives in our existential program marathon. Hi, Loshi. How are you? I see you guys here. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Okay, our live tonight is about parapsychism, transcendental view of life. Let's get our guest here, guys. First, we would like to say welcome to Ana Lu Galotti.
Hi, Ellen. How are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm great. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm so glad to be here again. I hope we have a great time together.
Oh, we will. Now, let's welcome Larissa Impérico.
Hi, everyone. Very glad to be here. I hope you have a great evening together.
Hi, Larissa. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. And last but not least, Marcelo Pires. Marcelo, you're on mute.
That's my favorite. Okay, I think that who got the bingo today about this? You're on mute. That's one of the favorite ones of everybody during this pandemic time. Okay, so thanks again for welcome, and that's always great to be here on these Thursdays and talking about conscientiology with people and about the purpose of life and this existential program. That's a pleasure.
Thank you all for being here tonight. I don't think you guys need introduction anymore, but if you're new here to the channel, we were here last week talking about purpose of life. We will have a link down below, okay, if you missed it. All right, so can I start with the first question?
Go ahead.
All right, so I want to know, I don't know, maybe Ana Lu, can you tell me what we are going to be talking about tonight?
Yes, I can. So just to make a context, previously we've seen that we've talked about 2 important concepts. The first was what is existential program, and we've talked about consciential paradigm. So Conscienciology considers that no one came into this life for tourism, okay? So everyone has something to do. We have some kind of task. It may be a simple task, or it may be a more complex task, okay? And we also seen that depending on the maturity level, a consciousness may have the opportunity to attend to a course where he or she will attend this course in the intermissive period, which is the period between one human life and another one, okay? And this is the intermissive course. This is where you can plan, make a technical plan of your next life. And this is the notion of existential program, okay? And this is more important of when we say just, find some meaning in your life, find some purpose, okay? Because when we talk about existential program, we are speaking about something bigger, okay? a transcendental thing, okay? And well, we also have seen that for conscienciology, reality is more than just this physical, this intraphysical thing that we see and what we can touch. Okay, so we are interacting in different dimensions, and sometimes there are things that we are not lucid for. And this is what we are going to talk today about parapsychism and how it is important to our practice. And this is where Larissa comes in to explain a little bit more about it.
Yes, thank you, Analu. So, but before I give the definition of parapsychism, I think I have a couple of questions for you guys. So maybe you can try and understand the reason why we brought this subject up. So let's say, for instance, have you ever had dreams that seemed too real and you could not understand why? Have you ever thought about someone and then the person sent you a message or called you straight away? These questions, I think they are very common, and they are one of the evidence that you might had a parapsychic experience. So what is parapsychism? Parapsychism is the experience of any phenomena that are beyond the scope of the physical explanation. Sorry. So therefore, is anything around us that we cannot explain with our physical science that we have at the moment. Yeah. Therefore, we are more than our physical bodies, as Analu was saying. And parapsychism has been in humanity a long history. So since ancient times, we can find evidence of, for example, out-of-body experience. We can find evidence of energy, so people using energies for good or bad things. So we can find all of this. But the thing that used to happen is that people will relate these experiences to religion or to the mystical side, and it doesn't have to be the way. So that's the reason why you're here. So try and make it simple for you. And we are bringing the consciential paradigm, which is a new paradigm, but basically it's just to understand that this experience is not a religious one or a mystical one. Everybody can have this experience. And I think now Marcelo can tell us a bit more about the consciential paradigm.
Yes, thanks, Larissa. And then, as Larissa said, we don't want to study it or evaluate it under a religious lenses, okay? We want to look at it as a science. And then conscientiology, that's the study of the consciousness, okay? The science that we are bringing here, it studies the consciousness as a whole, okay? In other words, we are going to study it not only what you see here in the physical sphere, in the physical dimension, but we are going to look for different dimensions, different bodies or vehicles of manifestation over different experience, existence, and to check the kinds of energies that you have around, okay? So to have and to work with this new science, the traditional paradigm that you have, the physicality paradigm, that's not enough, okay? It doesn't give us the right tools because you don't have a way to measure some of the phenomena that we have here, okay? So that's the moment that we bring the consciential paradigm, okay? That you consider all these aspects that we are talking on the conscientiology science, okay? And we are going to do the research of the consciousness, of using, okay, the consciousness itself to measure it and to research itself, okay? So we are the observer and we are also the object of our researches. Okay, and then as we go through it, we share our learnings with other people that can relate to it or not, and then through it you go and talk about, okay, this makes sense, this not make sense, because not because someone is telling you, but you are experimenting it. Okay, so then it goes to what you call the principle of disbelief. Okay, Do not believe in anything that we are saying here on this live. Okay, have your own experience. Okay, and then as you go through this experience, we are going to start checking about the foundations of or the pillars of the consciential paradigm, that some of them are very important for this life that we are going to, so for this parapsychology subject that we're discussing here. So one of it is that we have more than one vehicle of manifestation, okay? So what we call it the holosoma, the set of different bodies that we have. Okay, so we have our human body, we have our energetic body, okay, emotional or body or psychosoma, and you have a mental somatic body, okay. So this will be important, as Larissa and Alu, you explain some of the benefits, and we're going to talk about it. And then with the matter that you have different dimensions, okay, some of them that's just a different frequency that we have compared to what we see here, okay, and then that we have multiple experiences, okay. We have, as Analu said in the beginning, we have several different human lives that we have here, and periods that we are in a not physical or extra physical world, okay. So these connected with the fact that we have two main kinds of energies. The one that's what call it immanent or environment energy that we have around, and the other one that's consciential energy. That's the energy that we have embedded with our thoughts, with our emotions. Okay, those we need to consider do all of these, okay, as a whole on the evaluation about the phenomena that we have, that Larissa will talk a little bit about it now.
Yeah, so thank you, Marcelo. We have many types of phenomena, but first, I think it is important to say that all of us, we have some level of parapsychism. So I think we are led to believe that it is a gift, it is something special, but actually all of us, we have some level. We can have different parapsychism, so probably all of us here, Marcelo has his parapsychism is different of Ellen's, is different from Ana Luz, and is different of mine. But all of us, we have some level of it. So I brought some examples for us to speak about and to discuss. And I would love to hear your comments or your questions about it. Feel free to ask while I'm speaking, no problems at all. Ellen is going to bring your question as soon as I finish, so that's absolutely fine. The first one is the out-of-body experience. This has been studied by projectiology, okay, is an institution inside conscienciology. And we also have a big book about it. If you're interested, we can even put the link for you because it has a free download on the website. So in case you're interested, you can read more about it in English. So what happens? As Marcelo was saying, every night when we go to sleep, we have something called this coincidence of our bodies. So our psychosoma leaves our physical body temporarily. Okay, it's temporarily because otherwise we will die. So it's temporarily, it's just while we are sleeping. And then the out of body experience is when you have some lucid experiences out of your body. So during night, while your physical body is sleeping, you can have some lucid experiences. The out of body experience is a very good way to prove to yourself that there are other dimensions, there are past lives, there are other bodies. So it's a very, very good way to show to yourself. And that's the reason why we studied a lot in conscientiology. The second one I brought is bioenergies. So as Marcelo said as well, all of us, we have our own energies. So a good way to try and train your parapsychism is to try and perceive the different types of energy of people, of objects, of different places. And then you can start seeing that different people, they have different types of energy. So a very good example is when you meet someone, you're feeling very happy, it's a great day, and then after you meet the person, you just feel drained. So you feel like something is not right. So probably what happened was energetic interaction, and then the person wasn't well, and that's the reason why. But that's a very common one. And then you see, as you start doing these experiments, for some reason it's a lot easier to perceive when energy is heavy. So that's a good way of seeing it. The next one I brought is clairvoyance. This is when you can see a consciousness that doesn't have a physical body. So let's say, for instance, someone that passed away, and then you see the person in front of you. The difference between this one and the out of body is that this one you are awake, and the out of body experience you are sleeping. So just to have an idea. But the clairvoyance is when you actually see this in front of you. Yeah. The fourth one I brought is the precognition. It's a very common one, very well known in our society. I think psychics are very well known for doing this. So it's when you can predict something that is going to happen in the future. Yeah, but there is nothing special about it. All of us, we can have this occasionally, but that's known as precognition. Yeah. So these are some of the examples. We would love to know if you have had any of this, or if you had any other experience you have any questions about. Feel free to share. And I think, I'm not sure if you have any questions, Ellen, at the moment.
Hey. First, I wanted to say hi to everyone that's watching us. And I wanted to say that we appreciate you here with us. We have Gabriela, Edison Drago, Adriana Pires, Eliane Galotti. They don't have any questions yet, but of course, like always, I do.
Yeah, I think while we are not receiving questions, I think maybe Ana Lu could relate everything I've just said to the purpose of life, because we are in the marathon of purpose of life. So in case Ana Lu wants to speak about it.
Yes, I think it's important to mention that we have said that existential program is something special that we have to do. It's a technical plan. And if we have the lucidity that's necessary to accomplish this task, is going to be much more easily, because since we are interacting with energies that sometimes we have not, we don't have knowledge of it sometimes because we haven't worked with our energies, okay? So the problem with this is that we get to be vulnerable. Vulnerable because sometimes, as Larissa said, she walks into a place and suddenly she feels bad. But not only that, she may be vulnerable to some kind of extra physical intrusion, okay? And this is bad because sometimes you start to ruminate feelings and thoughts. And when you see your mind get, how do I say, kidnapped by these thoughts, hijacked and feelings, and you kind of lose control of your mind, okay? And this makes hard for the extra physical helpers to communicate with you, okay? This is one thing. So we get to be vulnerable when we have no lucidity at all of our energies, okay? So this is going to impact on our performance, trying to fulfill our practice. Okay, we could be very, very far away if we don't do this. So develop parapsychism is highly important if we want to be a completist. Okay. I think there is another example of it, which is the vibrational state. When you start learning how to maneuver your energies, and it's kind of protective because you can create like some way to protect yourself and find some balance when bad things happen, and also help another people. Okay, so it is good to make assistance. Sometimes you have the experience to help with your own energies, the other person, and maybe you're not saying anything at all, but just by being near her, or sometimes by exteriorize your energies, thinking well, thinking the best of it, okay, with good intentions, you are helping those persons, those people, okay. So if we are saying that existential program is something meant to evolve, and to evolve we mean helping ourselves and another people, this is a good way to start, by learning how to deal with our parapsychism, because if we don't, we are going to be vulnerable to bad energies, and we are not going to be helping others the way we could.
Oh, very good. You actually ended up answering a question that I had. Yeah, because Larissa had said something about if we feel like we don't feel the same after we meet someone, if we can feel either happy or drained. And you kind of answered my question, because I was going to ask you what we can do if we feel like that.
Yeah, so I think what is important to mention that everything that we are saying here, it has techniques for you to practice, okay? So there are techniques to try a vibrational state, and how to learn to move your energies, exteriorize, and then absorb, and this will make you to feel, will make you feel better, okay? Because it's some kind of a cleaning that you do in your own energetic body, and this is very good. It's a very good sensation when you have that feeling, because sometimes you start taking pills for headaches and it's not going to work, because
Yeah.
you know the problem sometimes is not physical. Of course you have to think about it, but sometimes you have to really start thinking, what happened now? Did I meet someone? What was I doing that suddenly something has changed? So
Awesome.
this is one a good thing to start, okay? Maneuvering your energies.
I think the thing is that most of us, we don't give enough attention to our energosoma, so our energies, as we give to the physical body. So let's say, for instance, if you have something on your body, you're going to pay attention straight away. But then your energy is usually you just leave it aside, and then you just realize when you're really drained, you're really not feeling well. So we usually say it's always good to keep moving your energies, and the vibrational state, as Ana Lu said as well. You can even learn how to do this on YouTube. We are going to speak about it a lot in our course, but you can learn on YouTube or in our books online. But that's a good start, and trying practicing on how to feel your energies, how to move and control them as well.
Okay. So, guys, André Chataloff joined us. He's saying, I'm here too. Good job. And we have a question. Can I go ahead and ask it? Or, yeah?
Sure.
You okay?
Sure.
From Pietra, how can we develop our parapsychism?
Well,
Okay.
I would say that it starts with exercise. Okay. You should ask, okay, oh, why I have a low level parapsychos and then have some people that have a higher level? Well, everything that remember about what we were talking about, the consciential paradigm, the pillars, and about multiple experience. When you have a higher level, it means that you already worked on it. You already did exercise on it on previous existence, previous lives. Okay, so every time that we reborn or get a new human body, we need to learn again how we are going to deal with this body. Okay, so it means that I need to research, I need to take good notes, I need to pay attention about what are around me about really tiny sensations, tiny experience, and then to start to correlate it with what's happening around me. Okay, and at the same time, okay, we have, as Larissa mentioned, about several techniques that you can use to do exercise. You can have some laboratories, okay, to following a particular method. You go and get to a quiet place and doing exercises, following that sequence, and taking notes about what it's getting better, what are your new experiences, and so on. And as you keep practicing, okay, you are going to have a development about it on that particular technique that you want to exercise. Okay,
And
Nalu?
I just want to say that do not start with great expectations, because sometimes you're not going to feel anything the first time. Okay, so you got to keep trying to doing it, because sometimes we expect to in the first time to see something or to hear something or to get out of our body, and that's not going to happen. So go easy, just try, feel what happens in your head, in, what sensations, what do you feel, like with a curious behavior, to just understand your body, to know what's happening. So don't try to do uh, great things like in the first place.
Yeah, I think as Ana Lu was saying, usually people, they expect to have like a big show of, something very different, and it's not like that. It's very subtle. So you can even have like goosebumps, or you can feel like, oh, I'm feeling cold, I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling warmer. And this is already parapsychism. It doesn't have to be something huge. So you need to be vigilant and try and be more sensible to parapsychism, because as I was saying, you have some level of it, and we all have. So try and start realizing these details on your day-to-day life as well. So which of those things I spoke about, for example, which one of them you think is easier for you? Did you have any dreams that you thought they were real? Do you had a lucid experience? Have you ever seen something that you thought, this is not right? I think I've seen something different. Do you usually feel the energies of people? It's not just when you feel drained. Sometimes you met someone and your day just changed. The person made your day. So I think you can start thinking about those things we spoke about. And between those things, which one you think is easier for you and why? And to the other ones, you can apply the techniques as Marcelo was saying.
We have two questions. One is from Laenio Loshi. Can each person, according to their existential program, have a more developed parapsychic phenomenon?
I'm just trying to understand according to their existential program. Because yeah. What do you think he meant?
I think he meant like, let's say, for instance, a person who needs to write, big works, a big gescon to help other people. Sometimes he's gonna have the parapsychism more developed in a way he could have more communication, or more incomings from his extra physical helpers and phenomena like that.
Okay. I think it is possible, but as we were saying, it's not a gift, so it's not something the helper is gonna give to the person. The person probably has already had a level of it, so already has parapsychism of their own, and they might receive some encouragement, so they might receive more help in the way of their existential program. So let's say, for instance, some of us, we might have felt very different when we spoke about a subject. In my example, when I was studying law, and the first time I heard about human rights, oh my God, that changed my life. I knew from that point that I had to do that. I had to work with that. So this might have had something to do with my helper. So he might have been there with me and waiting for me to find out, because I know my existential program has to do with that. So I think this is one of the examples, and this can happen, but it's not going to be a gift. It's going to be something that the person has already developed, in my opinion. I don't know if Marcelo and Analu want to say something about it.
I would also say that the parapsychism itself is a tool. Okay, so you need to use it in a productive and useful way. Okay, like getting one of the examples that Larissa gave in the beginning. Okay, like precognition. Okay, the ability to see the future. You can come to someone and say, "Oh, I know that you're going to be famous, rich, or whatever." Okay, or that something wrong will happen, and then that particular forecast or prediction, okay, you not add anything for the person, okay, so, or to yourself, but then you can have a situation that you have the precognition, and then you realize, okay, the person you move, for example, from United States to Germany, okay, so we can approach that person and say, okay, we've thought about studying German. Okay, maybe it's a good idea, but not going depending on the person giving everything that you forecast. Okay, so it's I think that the good usage for the existential program, Lush, it's when you make it being something useful, okay? Like Analu said, when you are writing a book and you have your psychics provide you inspirations about what you're writing, okay? Or that you are having out-of-body experience and you're doing activity out of body that will be useful for that, okay? So as you have a better use or a better utility for what you're using the parapsychic, okay, that's the moment that you start to leverage your existential program. Okay, because existential program is always connected with spirituality, okay, to help the others. Okay, so we need to know how we use our skills or competence that we developed over several lives in a constructive way that we okay that we don't disturb the people, that we help the people and ourselves first.
Go ahead, Nolu.
I was just thinking about something while you were speaking. On the other hand, we could think like, let's say I'm in the intermissive course and I am preparing my next life. So I know that I have to work with something that I'm gonna have to help healing people. And one of these things will be parasurgery, okay? So one of the phenomena that are going to be involved are going to be ectoplasmia. I don't know how do I say that in English. If you could translate, please.
Ectoplasmy.
Ectoplasmy. Okay. So maybe in the intermissive course, I'm gonna keep trying developing it like more than I would do with clairvoyance, or more than I would with clairaudience. Okay, so this is one of the things that is important to say. Parapsychism helps us to identify our proexes. So one of the things that is good to mention is once you start comprehending how does your parapsychism works, is one of the ways to start to understanding your proexes as well. So this is just a reflection for us to make.
All right, another question, and then after that we have two more.
Okay.
From Gabriela Diaz. Hi, Gabi. Could you guys talk a little bit more about precognition, please? And how could it be related to the proaxis? I had some experiences of this kind, and each one was really different from another.
Should I?
Sure.
Yeah, I think precognition can be a different phenomena because it can happen suddenly. And if it's too far away, so let's say if you have a vision of something that is too far away, you might not understand and not even identify the phenomena. But that's why we usually say to people to make notes while they are doing self-research and while they have any type of phenomena. But it's very good that you find out that you have, like, for you it's easy to have this type of parapsychic phenomena, because the precognition, you can see things, you can hear things, and you can sometimes even prepare yourself for something that is going to happen. There was a case of a teacher, I forgot her name now, if someone remembers, but she's from Conscientiology, and she had a precognition that her father was going to die. And then because she had this precognition, she could prepare herself. So she spent more time with him. She'd help him how she could. And then when the time came 2 years later, she was fully prepared. So, and she was happy because she had the experience, even though she knew that it was going to happen. So it's not something nice to know that someone near you is going to die, someone you love. But then she said she took advantage from the experience. So she was looking at him in a different way, trying to enjoy all moments together. And then, so that's why I think precognition is a good phenomenon, and it's amazing that you already had some. So my tip for you is just try and take some advantage, focusing on your existential program.
Okay. Edson Drago, he has 3 questions himself with comments. So I'm going to go ahead and read them all, okay? So
Okay.
first one, I'm new here. I can't believe in a life purpose, even though I believe and had enough experiences about it. I don't think I need to believe in a purpose to make sense of all these experiences. Then his second comment has a question. But a purpose can be construed and not discovered. Why do I have to believe in discovering and not building a life purpose?
Anybody? Should I say something?
I would start with just
Don't believe. Yeah.
yes, the principle of disbelief. Okay, Edson, I think that's very good comments that you are doing here. One thing that we talk in Conscientiology, it's about the principle of disbelief. Exactly this. Don't believe in anything that we are saying here. Have your own experience. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing that's nice that we are mentioning here is that you have some parapsychic experience here, as you explained. Okay, so you see that some of these topics for you make sense. Okay, and just link it to the purpose of life or the existential program. Okay, well, the concept that we are sharing here on this live is that existential program is a plan that we did before this life here, between our previous and this current life. Okay, as Ana Luz mentioned before. Okay, so as we have this plan here, like we have like a plan, a purpose that we do it with a group. Okay, and then this is kind of stays with us in kind of innate ideas. Okay, so some ideas that we have from early age, and then as we go on, and then the existential program itself, we start to realize what was our existential program as we go and we kind of execute it, or we are doing it. Okay, So we typically we are going to have some kind of general direction, okay, but there is always some latitude the way that you sail it across your life, okay. So Analu, Larissa, any additional comments?
I think it's worth to mention that there is a difference between purpose in life and purpose of life. So, what we are saying here is the purpose of life, like we are trying to, in a rational way, uh, to explain our existence, okay? But if now you don't accept, okay, this version of what we are saying, psychology already studies what you were saying about purpose being constructed, okay, especially positive psychology, where they talk about finding a meaningful life, okay, how to live a meaningful life. So, purpose in life could be dedicate yourself to your family, to your community, and this is how you're going to construct a meaningful life, a life that is worth living. Okay, so when we are saying here this transcendental view of our life, we are contemplating all of these elements. But there are people who do not have this existential program, as we are saying. They have a minimal task that includes evolution, but sometimes it's very simple. Okay, so I think maybe a good thing to do is to study a little bit more, because you don't need to believe in anything, as Marcelo and Larissa said before, but to see those differences and see what is better for you, what is fitting you right now, the better.
Yeah, I think both of you spoke most of the things. But then a good tip would be to watch our first live, because we spoke about more about the purpose of life and the existential program. And as I said before, you don't have to believe in anything, and each person is different. Even if you don't feel any connection with what we are saying, it's never too late. And the important thing is that you're doing something good for other people, you're helping others. I think this is the main thing. And basically existential program give us a lot more responsibility. That's the only difference, to be honest. So if all of us are helping others and trying to evolve, that's the main thing.
But I got curious, Edson. So those experiences you had, what do you why do you think they happened? This I don't know. I just want to know. Do you have some kind of explanation of why these experiences happen to you? We can keep going. It's just to. I don't know if he's going to answer us.
Yeah, I was curious too. I was under the impression that it was just a conflict of contextualizing the concept, the definition of the term, you know? And I think that, to me at least, and Alu gave me a perfect explanation, including psychology terms and everything. The main difference between what we are talking about here, and which includes the whole concept of the consciousness, and the difference between what we learn in other sciences. That's my impression. Correct me if I'm wrong, Edison. But that was the impression I was under. All right, guys. So we don't have any more questions in the chat, and I believe we are already getting to the point where we have to finalize. I know.
It's gone so fast.
I know. I love talking to you guys, but so would you guys like to say something else so we can finalize the live?
Well, start. You may start. Go ahead.
Okay, I start. Well, as we are saying, okay, we have the existential program, okay, and Oh, I don't think that Edson wants us to stop. Keep on.
Yeah.
Edson, thanks very much.
Next
Okay.
Thursday, next Thursday there is
You are
more.
so invited for our next live. We hope
Yeah.
to see you there.
And we can keep chatting on the comments, Addison. That's fine. We can keep chatting over there after the live, okay?
But I think that and make also a link with the comments that Edson was making. Okay, well, as we said, and it's the topic of this live here. It's parapsychos, a transcendental way of life or perspective of the life. So one thing that's important, it's about always how I use it. Okay, that's not only how I practice, but how I use it, because that's a resource that we have, this parapsychos, that's a resource that we have in our hands to facilitate the execution of our existential program. Okay, so it's interesting that we understand uh, what are our current level. Okay, what are the strongest ones that we can use with our to enable and to leverage our existential program. Okay, so I have some that are stronger, some that are not so stronger, and then as I start to know myself, I can use it to my uh, uh, performance and to the execution of the existential program that I have, and that's the I think that's the beauty of it. And I would say that thank you for everybody on this live today. Okay, it was a pleasure to be again here, Analu.
Well, it was a pleasure for me too. And well, I just think it's good to remember that parapsychism is a consciential faculty, that is constituted by these perceptions beyond the physical senses. Okay, so it is for everyone. Everyone can develop parapsychism, and this is very good way to improve your performance on proexis. So try, research a little bit more about the techniques and try, experiment, and see what happens.
Yeah, so on the same way, I hope you guys have enjoyed as we did enjoy today. It was really good to be here, and I hope the knowledge we brought help you in a way, or maybe made you think something else that you didn't before. So you are more than invited for next Thursday, same time. We have our next live next week. And thank you very much, guys. It was really great to be here.
Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
So I just want to read this back to you guys because it's awesome. I mean, Edison, and he is saying thank you all for your answers. They were very good, especially the difference between purpose in life and purpose of life. Thanks.
Thank you.
We got you, Edison. We got you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I wanted to thank you guys. This is such a privilege for me to be here. Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm looking forward for next week. Please, guys, come back. And thank you all for watching and participating here with us. All right. You all have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Yep.